The Stockholm Syndrome is a psychological response sometimes seen in an abducted hostage, in which the hostage exhibits loyalty to the hostage taker, in spite of the danger, or at least risk, in which the hostage has been placed. Stockholm Syndrome is also sometimes discussed in reference to other situations with similar tension, such as battered person syndrome, rape cases, child abuse, and bride kidnapping. I think I had the Stockholm Syndrome. It all makes sense now. And more importantly, as I tell you this, I am tingling with anticipation and excitement. Tingling that I would have recently, up until recently, I would have called fear. But now, I cannot wait to leave. I cannot wait to get out there and show myself to the world, to get myself some bitches, to get myself back into the working world and use some of the money that I've made, to better myself and my living conditions. I am feeling very good at the moment. I want to try to explain this, and it's funny that it's the first time that I made the connection. When I first met the bitch, I was very, very lonely. I had not really had a good relationship with the other bitch for a long time. I was glad to be alone, but I was too alone. I had no one really to spend any time at all with. And Anne-Sophie was my favorite student. She was not the most beautiful. She was not the most desirous to me. But for some reason, she was the one that stood out, and I was extremely privileged, I thought, to spend time with her. When I first spent some time with her, I really tried to play it cool and, not make a stupid mistake that would see me wearing leather pants and a ponytail and driving a red, sports car. I tried to maintain my dignity, and I tried to keep our relationship, what do I want to say? I tried to keep our relationship I didn't want our relationship to become an old man, young girl, weirdo relationship. I wanted my dignity, and naturally I wanted her to have hers. The first couple of nights evenings that we spent together were the nights of this incredible whisker burn that I gave her on her chin. At first it was just a little mark, but I know how sore that can get. When it was over, it was as big as both of my thumbs put here on like a silver dollar that went from here under the chin. And still, it continued to get worse and worse. I had to face this in the classroom, and although part of me probably realized that that was a sign that she was mentally ill, I forgave it, because that's my nature, and because you cannot really walk around thinking everyone's mentally ill, because I think that makes you mentally ill. As the relationship went on, it never really got great. We had lots of laughs and good times and stuff together. But I wanted out. I wanted out because I did not want to end up hopelessly lost and unemployed in France and so terribly alone that I would feel I am losing my mind, which is what I have experienced now over the last, sort of 18 months. But she wouldn't let me leave. She literally held me hostage. She used violence. She used her smarts. She used sexuality. But mostly she used the monk. She had ways of saying things and doing things that caressed my heart. She called herself my daughter to my face. She made me love her. She made me love her a lot. Then the monk appeared, and I was truly in love. All along, I kept worrying about myself, and us, of course, but about myself being lost and hopeless, unemployed, unimpressive, a nobody, a nothing, someone that she would want to leave. This got worse and worse and worse. I was very, very nervous, and I didn't even put it into words when I lived at 19 Rue de Frère Stockler. I blamed it on my neighbors. I yelled at my neighbors and I told her I want to leave, but what I was saying was I want to leave this apartment. The truth was I wanted to go and have a life again. I didn't want to be trapped in an apartment, unemployed, and not know what to do. And I was never going to fix that in France. This I knew. But she wouldn't let me. There's no way that I was going to leave her, and if I left, she was coming with me. This tactic worked perfectly with me. It kept me frozen in time. It kept me hopeless. And then, ever so often, in the beginning, it was about once a month, she would go stark, raving mad. Mad like I have never seen a human being behave. And the next time I see it, I'll say, there's a mentally ill person. She threw herself on the floor and smashed her head on the floor. She said and did horrible things. And then she said, I'm sorry. It was, torture, relief, torture, relief. She would tell me to get the fuck out of her life, and that I would, when we lived in my apartment, she would leave regularly, pack her stuff and say, that's it, I'm leaving, and be back in, 3 hours. She did this at any time, including in the middle of the night. When we lived together, she told me to leave. And sometimes I'd say, okay, I will. And then she would actually block the door with her body and refuse to let me out. Then, since she knew she couldn't block the door forever, she had to use emotional tactics. And she would say to me things again that, massaged my heart, that made me think that there is no way in the world I can just pack up and leave one day when she's, not there. And leave a note saying, Kevy left the shack. And that's what happened. Of course, I admit to being in love, because sometimes she was my best friend, but then again, she was my only friend. And then when she left, I was very much split down the middle, because when she told me she was leaving, she said, when are you leaving? And I said, I'll go on Monday. 3 days later. When Monday came, I was terrified. Pardon me for a second. When I did leave, I got really, really scared. Really scared. I got so scared I did stupid things. I begged to come back, to be held hostage even longer. I would have continued our relationship the way it was, which was completely unfair to me. And that would have been like the most perfect thing that could have happened to me at that time. To go back and to be re-abused. I don't want to overstate the abuse, because it certainly wasn't something that I feel particularly shamed about. But I realize now that I was in fact forced to stay. I didn't want to stay, I wanted to live my life. I wanted to enjoy those years and, spread myself around and have a real shot at being a normal person. And, she just used me like a thing that you use. Anyway, I'm going to try to write about this a bit more, but I don't know. I'm feeling a bit intimidated about it. I start to write and I can't seem to keep my concentration on what I want to write, and it ends up being kind of long, rambling, same old story. However, the good news is I do feel better. I have made, I would like to say 100% recovery, and I'm feeling quite good. I was out yesterday and I noticed the bitches looking at me and stuff, and I'm feeling good. Really, I am. I'm going to move down south. I've decided pretty much that I'm going to go to Cannes. I don't know, because that's a paradise down there. Palm trees and beaches and shit. Place like I've never seen in my life except on TV. And I figure, what the hell, It's a perfect opportunity, and I should not cry, I should not complain, I should just get on the bitchin' train or hitchhike or whatever the motherfucker I want to do and get my ass down there and enjoy some time, some free time, some good times. And, well, that's what I'm going to do. I'm feeling very good about it. This week, I should get my letter from the agence that says, fuck you, you're screwed, we're not letting you out of this apartment, no matter what, you can die here. And then I have to go to the Social Security people and hope to hell that they'll support me with my alleged legal right to put in 30 days notice and leave. Well, anyway, I'm feeling good about it no matter what happens. If it takes a little bit longer, well, that's what it does. That's it. I'm feeling good, I'm looking forward to the change, and I figured it all out. The answer was the Stockholm Syndrome.